Hi, and welcome to New City on Martha's Vineyard, Sign Class number 4. The topic today is where. Today is April 19th, 2020, Sunday, and we're starting class at 4:30. The concepts that we've learned in class so far are pointer finger is your pronoun finger. The closed 5 hand shape is used for possessive pronouns. We learned the ABCs. We learned who and what and vocabulary related with those words. We learned about WH facial expression. We've learned about topic and comment sentence structure. We learned about Laurent Claire, and we learned about superhero teamwork and how critical communication is. Okay, your assignment from 2 weeks ago, class number 3, did you do it? Did you write ASL sentences and the English translation to match it? Did you practice with a signing buddy? Did you practice in front of the mirror? Did you make sure that you had the right facial expressions for WH questions? Did you look at Deaf Bible Society's website? And did you pray for the deaf community in Montana and around the world? If yes, please let us know. Send us a message, because remember, at the end of class, if you did your homework, you'll get a button. Hello! Let's review from 2 weeks ago the signs that we've learned. Hands. Dad, Mom, my turn, what, candy, eyes, mouth, Mom, boy, your turn, box, ball, mine, cookie, bike, ears, girl, name, car, clothes, you, brother, how, doll, shoes, me, sister, sign or sign, book, like, he, kid, I love you, food, want, she, child, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Please, want, she, children, who, thank you, need, we, adults, understand, ready, they, adults, don't understand, again, 4. Bossy, good advice, strong opinions, confident, skilled. Who is it? Edna Mode. Watch later in class for more information about Edna and advocacy. And what does that mean? Stay tuned. Get up, wave your hands, wiggle your fingers, make faces, and give high fives to the people around you. Now, we're going to learn a new kind of question. Yes, no questions. There's a different facial expression that goes with it. Pay attention. The facial expression for yes, no questions. Your eyebrows go up. Your head tilts forward. Yes, no, and you have direct eye contact with the person you're asking. Don't be looking over here and saying yes, no. They can't see your facial expression, and the facial expression is so important. Now, know and how to respond with a positive and a negative head shake. No. No. Your car is blue? No. That facial expression clearly shows. Okay, get up and shake your head yes and no exercise. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Ooh, dizzy. Good job. And now, yes, no. Understand there are new words. Yes, no, don't want, don't like, and they're all negative. Or yes, like, yes, I want, no, don't like, no, don't want, yes, I like, yes, I want. Now, new vocabulary. Yes, no, don't want, don't like, don't want, don't like. Where, from, here, there, go, or go, or go. Go has different signs depending on the context. I'm going to the store. Are you ready to go? We're ready to go. Two people are leaving. Go means out. So that's go. Or go like a car goes fast, zooms fast. There's different kinds of go, but the concept is leaving. That's real key. Remember, if I want to go out, it's like that. Come. Come. Do you mind coming over? Come. Do you come to my house? That. Stay. Stay. Again, it depends on the context. If you're staying home, or you're staying on, where are you staying for vacation? That concept, stay. Kids are in trouble, stay in your room, stay. If you're stuck at work, stay for 2 weeks. That concept. Inside, outside. Home, house, room, basement, farm, church, store. Do you remember in previous lessons the WH question? Who, when? Now we are learning a new word, where. And it's the same as the who question and the same as what question. WH facial expression, eyebrows furrow. You go ahead and practice exercising your eyebrows with who and what and where. Now, where questions we're going to practice with some examples. Voices off. Okay, ready? It's time for facial expression staring contest. One person takes the WH eyebrows, which means furrowed. Let's see your furrowed eyebrows. And the other person will take the yes/no question facial grammar. So we'll see who wins. Just short, doesn't have to get boring. You do it too. Ready? I'm yes, no, you're WH, okay? Bah, I lost. Okay, go ahead and try and see who wins. When you're done, take turns the other way around. WH and yes, no. Okay? Good job. Okay, when two deaf people come together and they're talking, what should you do? You're uncertain if you should walk between them, go around them. If you want to talk, what should you do? We're going to give you some advice. 3 tips. The first one is If you want to start a conversation, don't just go ahead and start talking. It's very important that you get that eye contact first. Once you have it, then you can go ahead and relay your message. Second, if two people are having a conversation and you want to join in, you should wait and watch their conversation, watch for an opening, and then join in. Third, if two deaf people are talking and you can't get around them, you're stuck either way, and you have to go between them, don't say, "Oh, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me." Just walk right through. It's easier. It's not rude. When deaf people are talking and you sign and say, "Excuse me," they lose their train of thought, and that's considered rude. It's much better to just walk straight through. You don't have to duck and go down, because then again, it's going to pull their eyes away from their conversation. Just walk right through. That's great. The backstory of the Incredibles is, even though they were heroes with superpowers and there to save the day, and maybe because of their power, the general public decided superheroes had to go. They were oppressed and forced to reject their natural skills and abilities. The backstory of the American deaf community is, even though they had advanced in their education, become skilled and empowered by the school and language that Laurent Clerc and Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet had established in 1817, by the end of the late 1800s, public opinion, because of philosophies of evolution and eugenics, people decided that sign language had to go. The deaf were oppressed, and they had to reject their natural skills and abilities. One problem with public opinion is that it can become internalized and become personal opinion, whether or not that perspective is right. Because we live in our culture, the culture naturally influences us and we absorb it. In The Incredibles, they showed signs of that internalization by tension in their home, losing their job, kids having trouble in school, and lack of self-confidence. Deaf people, and especially in areas where there is not strong deaf community or a positive deaf presence, demonstrate the same signs of oppression that the Incredibles experienced. Unemployment, trouble in school, domestic tensions, and lack of self-confidence. The Incredibles and the deaf community have those similarities. Advocacy. So what is that? Advocacy can mean being a helper, an advisor, a fighter, somebody who stands up for another person, somebody who works to change the law or to change public perspective. We typically picture advocacy to mean public advocacy. For example, in The Incredibles 2, Mr. Dever uses his social capital to influence leaders and the public. It's an excellent example of public advocacy. But let's focus on personal advocacy and Edna Mode and what she did for The Incredibles. Even though the Incredibles had already absorbed the negative cultural perspectives on their superpowers, Edna knew that her best design work was to make super suits for the superheroes. In her passion, and even though it was illegal, Edna designed new suits for the Incredibles. With that action, the Incredibles were inspired, and they regained their unity and their vision and their purpose. On a personal level, Edna advocated for the Incredibles, and she pushed them to become who they were meant to be. Maybe for us, we aren't all going to become public advocates, fighting to change legislation like Mr. Dever, but we all can pursue our passions and who God designed us to be, and use that skill to inspire people around us and remind people to use their superpowers. So, do people need an advocate because they're weak? Not always. The Incredibles were definitely not weak. They were powerful. But sometimes, for two reasons, because people have internalized the negative cultural perspectives around them, plus maybe they lack social capital. And that social capital gives them a way to increase their access and equity. So what is social capital? It can be described as social relations that have productive benefits. Who you know, individually and collectively, influences every area in your life. Minority groups, like superheroes and deaf people, sometimes lack communication. They lack the perspectives of the majority, and therefore they aren't able to build those social relationships that increase their social capital. And that's where advocacy comes in. An advocate often understands the perspectives of the minority, plus they have the social capital to make connections that allows them to influence and change the mindset to bring equity for the minority. So now, this brings us to advocacy in the Bible. The Bible verse, Galatians 6, verse 2, says, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." Wow. Obviously, Christ wants us to carry each other's burdens. The word that is sometimes translated in the Greek to advocate is the Greek word parakletos. And you might recognize that word. Sometimes it is translated as comforter, sometimes it is translated as helper, and sometimes it is translated as advocate. But it typically refers to the Holy Spirit. That's incredible. In 1 John 2:1, it says, "If we sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous one." Jesus has social capital that we lack. He has that connection with the Father, and he advocates for us. That's Jesus, who is the advocate. John 14, verse 16 through 17 says, Jesus is saying, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate who will never leave you. That's the Holy Spirit, who will lead us into all truth. Wow, the Holy Spirit himself is an advocate. And if we belong to Christ, that Holy Spirit dwells in us and gives us passion. We have the same heart. We want to advocate for people who need it, just like Christ advocates for us. One organization that you can research this week is the World Federation of the Deaf. This organization is skilled in its advocacy work. Go ahead and research it on the website and find out more about what they do and why they do it. This link is a fun exercise with the Incredibles, and it's made in Japan. So some of the language you might not be able to understand, but it's still really fun. So go ahead, get yourself moving, and go exercise. Wow, good job practicing your eyes. Are your eyes tired? Now, here's your assignment for lesson 4. Write 5 WH questions in ASL Gloss and write the English translation. Write 5 yes/no questions in ASL Gloss and write the English translation. Write 5 topic comment sentences in ASL Gloss and write the English translation. Practice your sentences with a buddy and make sure that you're watching your facial grammar and doing the right yes, no, and WH facial grammar. You can play word hide and seek. So, for example, you say, my shoes where? The other person can answer, your shoes, their bedroom. For example, you can practice your receptive skills that way, back and forth. You can also play 20 questions in ASL, because now you know yes, no, you can ask those questions and find the answers for 20 questions. You can go to the World Federation of the Deaf website and read about the 7 areas where WFD is advocating for human rights. And please, please pray for equity and access for the deaf community in the world so that they can come to know the true advocate, Jesus. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you soon. Good job.